Welcome back, video heads. Today we're going to be taking a journey into a swamp that was never drained, a bedroom as dead as democracy, and the answer to the question, how big of a legal bribe can billionaires give to president public? That's right, it's Melania. It's the film Melania here we've got today.
My name is Tommy.
I'm Kyle.
And I feel like we have done a real public service for you all because I personally have watched this film twice now.
Oh, no.
So that you don't have to, dear audience.
I specifically
I'm here to
avoided
protect
that.
you.
I was like, one is enough. I'm not doing more than one.
I'm guarding the gate here because, we are reviewing Melania, the recent documentary, if you can call it that, if you can dignify it that with that.
It doesn't fit movie.
That illustrious category.
Even Melania says it's like not a documentary, but then people are like, well, then what is it? Because it doesn't fit anything else.
It's a golden egg is what it is, Kyle. It's a golden egg filled with saltiness, I guess. I don't know.
Well, people called it a branding exercise, and I'm like, accurate, I suppose, on this. But
I think that's probably a very apt way of describing this. It's basically a branding puff piece.
Yeah, and what Tommy said is correct in this case. Many times we're like, spoilers, if you haven't seen this, like maybe go watch the movie first and then like come do whatever. But no, just listen to us like talk about this because this is... You're not missing anything by not seeing this movie, for one thing. It's just a meandering garbage pile that has no narrative. And, like, I swear to God, walking is half the movie. She's walking. She walks to the car, which then, like, goes to a tarmac, and then she walks from that to an airplane. And then, like, then the airplane will land, and she'll walk to another car, and then that car will go somewhere, and she'll walk, and then, like... And often they won't talk at all. Maybe you'll get one line in the movie, like, while this happens. It'll just be like, and here's a song while this is happening. Like,
Melania is always on the move, just painfully, laboriously on the move.
It's true, yeah.
Plodding along. Yeah. All right. Let's just go ahead and dive right into this.
Yeah. So again, we watched this. You don't have to enjoy whatever. Come back if you want after watching this. But this is like a 1.5 out of 10 star aggregate across most things. So
it has higher ratings on Amazon right now, which.
It's like the number one documentary. Okay. I like the stars thing on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Melania's fashion sense, the ratings are rather black and white. They're strikingly very positive or very negative. Probably not surprising anyone. So
yeah, and I mean, like streaming services, they don't have to be opaque on so much of their stuff these days. But it is odd for a documentary about a woman who like threatens to have a personality at any moment to be like doing.
Does she though? I didn't feel threatened, Kyle. I never felt threatened by that. Actually, I felt very secure in her having no personality ever.
Just an empty vessel upon which to rest your.
Yeah, really. If like Kim Kardashian got hit by a tranq dart, that would be Melania Trump. Just even more affectless, even less facial movement or expression of any kind. I
love that she spent half the movie in like an outfit that could be described as like evil lamp. Yeah. Too, of like.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
I've got like 4 more of those. That inspired me.
I hate myself for not thinking of that one sooner. Jeez. That's a great one. All right.
But yes, let's get into this.
Let's dive right in. All right. So, opening scene is a bit of Florida beach glamour, right? We have a swooping drone shot coming from the beach and then over Mar-a-Lago. The light is golden. The beach is wonderful. It's a very warm, almost sultry scene, right? It's Florida golden hour, right? So, yeah.
That's so charitable of a way to open this. I wrote down, we open on a big, dumb, overly long, sweeping shot of Mar-a-Lago, set to music by an artist that almost assuredly wishes they were not using this, the Rolling Stones. And guess what? I was right. After I looked up this movie, and I was like...
Oh, yeah. This is something I'm going to come back on a lot, just how much great music this film uses, and just... fuck this film.
Yeah.
For all the great music it taints by association with it. Gross.
Yeah, for sure. The Rolling Stones is like, their catalog's owned by Sony, and so like they reportedly did not have input on this being in there, but they certainly had input afterwards being like, hey, don't like please.
We hate this. Fuck you.
Don't want that at all, but okay. And I mean, if you're really like committing to the just artist that MAGA loves, like why not have a whole Kid Rock, Ted Nugent soundtrack here? Like
really double down, right?
But they don't, because they latch onto other artists like liberal ones. Yeah, it's whatever. Okay, right. Bad start.
Yeah, gimme Shelter. So fine.
But then this is like a terrible thing, because then we just play with drone cameras for another 2 minutes, and like we excitingly see Melania, and I fucking already get into a car, and she takes her sunglasses off, and then we like watch a motorcade drive away for so much longer than you wish it would.
But we get an introduction to what I thought about just from this point going forward as the trappings of Melania, right? Her hair, her shades, her fashion, and then her feet in heels. Almost like this is directed by Quentin Tarantino. There's a real foot fetish that starts real quick. There's a lot of focus on Melania's feet and heels, and her shoes, her shoe choices.
She's heelsing around, clicking about on those.
But she is always rocking a very, very high multi-inch stiletto heel all the time. I didn't have a clear sense of how tall Melania was, to be very honest.
That's a great point, like without the heels, because she was always
heels.
in heels.
Ooh, yeah, they're brutal, and she's in them all the time.
And this is the furthest thing from like a behind the scenes, like real life documentary. This is every moment is like scripted and polished and
very
just
staged.
under her control, and we'll find out that's basically true or whatever as we go. But so that makes these things like these are just puff pieces, because we're just like zoom cameras, whoosh, oh, I'm getting in the car,
so glamorous,
whoa,
so fashionable,
she put the sunglasses back on because she opened the car door,
so
like,
breezy and aloof as she's so importantly whisked away from Mar-a-Lago to and just God.
And we're like 4.5 minutes into this quote movie. Nobody's said a word yet. It's the first thing is just Melania being like, what does she say? Happy New Year, nice to see you, at like a smiling aircraft crew. And then as soon as she turns away, the camera's positioned so well, her like smile to the crew drops, and she goes, her RBF pulled right back up. She just scowls walking towards the camera, and you're like, oh, cool greeting, human. Like,
just very guarded. We don't get a lot of words from Melania really ever throughout this entire production. Really, it starts early. She's a woman of few words, for sure. I don't even know. In some way, I felt like, is this fair? I don't know if is Melania the person actually very talkative. I have no idea. But just in this, it's just she's very brittlely aloof.
I think you're right. I mean, like, or what it is real Melania is not talkative or a woman of many words or a real, like, I don't know, full of wisdom. But I have two people in my notes. One is Melania, and then the other is voiceover Melania. Yeah. Voiceover Melania is very sage and pulls from all sorts of books of these quotes of like...
That is true. A voiceover Melania is a lot more pointed, for sure. A bit more flinty and edged towards the end especially.
She's so cunty at times too. Like there's... I'll call that up. Yeah, like, it's wild.
I see you're wearing your hair long today. really letting it out.
I suppose. this fucking movie that's getting it in me. But like, I mean, Melania really drives like this whole question home of like, as I'm wondering, like, what are we doing here in this movie? Like 5 minutes in, after like we made it to a plane. Now it's 5 minutes in. Now the plane take off. Wow. And she starts voiceover Melania. She's here. She's here to say things, and she goes. Everyone wants to know, so here it is. I'm not just trying to do the accent.
So it starts with a falsehood.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is a fantasy.
You're getting ahead of me.
It's a fiction.
The line is everyone wants to know, so here it is. 20 days in my life. Family, business, philanthropy. I paused to laugh there. And becoming First Lady of the United States again. So I had, first of all, who wants to know? Name names. Second of all, who was asking for that specific time frame of your life? Who was like, I need 20 days from Melania? Like, and then third of all, you have a public reputation for literally none of the things you mentioned for family, business, philanthropy, except for being First Lady twice. So you're just lying. Like, this is just bullshit.
We're talking about Black and White again. This is a film that exposes a lot of rather powerful dualisms in the contemporary moment. I suppose Melania is approached from two radically different directions, right? We definitely have ours, for sure. I can imagine any number of members of my family would be far more fans, I don't know about adoring fans, but at least fans of Melania. This is something that I'm going to touch on a lot. I feel it's something I felt over and over again, that this film deserves a lot of credit to one or more clever producers who made something that could be appreciated from two competing audiences. I feel that Melania already is either being sent up as this glamorous figure, right? A beautiful model, and now a glamorous first lady a second time around, or as we have been experiencing this too. And it's the same product. It's the same person too. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving too much credit to something that isn't happening, but I feel like this film just offers itself up both ways, coming and going.
I feel the word appreciating is doing a lot of heavy lifting in what you said about
appreciate the bold word.
Two people, appreciating.
I appreciate. I mean that in a very technical term of art sense.
So you're a little ahead of me again here too, in the sense of at some point it occurred to me, like, and I sort of. There's like a MAGA female perspective and there's a MAGA male perspective, and I was specifically thinking of the MAGA male perspective because when so much of this movie is about interior design and fashion and walking, I at times would like check in with this mental person and be like, what does this guy think right now? Like, how's he doing like at minute 40 in the movie when nothing has happened?
What is like, Bro McDude thinking right now about this?
And I just like, I came to the conclusion, I mean, like a lot of people like, this is just like people having to listen to Kid Rock and Embrace, like having to go to the Melania movie. At some point, you're probably like, this fucking sucks, but like I paid here and I'll probably watch at the end. Like, I guess, I don't know, but
that's a good question. Who is the intended audience of this? And not just the intended snarky audience, or perhaps there is no audience that doesn't include this part of it. I don't know, but who is the intended appreciative audience? Is it female Trump voters of a certain age bracket? I guess.
That's what I saw it like succeed with to a degree.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense just kind of as a superficial cold read, but again, I feel like it does. Okay, confession, audience. I certainly did approach this from the perspective of, I'm going to be so catty about this film. I'm going to tear it apart. Oh, yeah. Just look at I can't wait. And I just felt like I didn't have to try that hard. I really felt like this film was just serving up all these hooks for me to grab onto. I didn't feel like I had to create something out of nothing. Like just all these opportunities for mockery and catty comments and just I don't know. Again, I feel like maybe there was a clever producer somewhere.
Almost sometimes like just very naturally segueing into the thing where like your mind may go to like, snarky comment maybe, and then a thing will happen and you're like, definitely snarky comment, yeah.
So we're getting to where we first hear Billie Jean. background music.
I think it's Billie Jean because I have in this my notes right now. I'm fucking losing my mind because literally nothing's happening at any given moment, and it's doing that Suicide Squad 1 thing where they just like edit in some incredibly well-known pop songs. In this case, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. While said nothing happens, like to give the illusion of things happening, and so like.
Oh wow, you really touched on some like modern editing zeitgeist here.
Oh yeah,
damn, good job.
Well, that is a big theme in this movie is the illusion of things happening, and there's some very funny instances of it to me where like they just go out of their way to like be like it's Melania did a thing with the music and with like the timing and the whatever, and it's the most inconsequential, stupid bullshit because she's standing there talking about a vase. Or like the flower she wants, or the dress, or like it's exhausting. This movie was exhausting to get through, but nothing's happening. Again, the plane lands. We're gonna get a whole bunch of this, and Melania gets taken to Trump Tower. It seems I got that later through context, but she walks and she walks and she walks through hallways, and she wears sunglasses indoors like a vampire with a Botox addiction. And she walks some more right into some gaudy ass gold plated everything room.
That is not just any old everyday gaudy ass gold plated room. That's where they live.
That's
ground zero of Trumpdom.
I figured since it's Trump Tower.
And did you notice that they're on the 66th floor? They're just 1/6 away, aren't they?
Oh man,
they're so close. Two out of 3 ain't bad, right? As the song goes. You can't make this shit up for real. If I was going to write some cheesy graphic novel about some guy who's secretly the devil, I might have him live on the 66th floor of a gold-plated building.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, seriously.
A man who lies as easily as he breathes. He lives on the floor 66. Yeah, like he delights in deceit, and like, people are like, "Yeah, elect him," and they're like, "No, that's not what I'm not." Oh, okay.
I know. But here's Melania entering, kind of like Persephone wed to Hades, Lord of the Underworld. It's just, but you're right. This film is tedious already. It's just already so boring, and it's just. Melania has no personality. She has no personality. You were saying she was threatening to have a personality, and I disagreed because she never threatens that. It's just she just disappears into the scene no matter what because she has no personality, or at least she just never shows it in this anyway.
She does like the opposite of. I just watched like America's Next Top Model, big documentary series. She's the opposite of smizing. Like she never smiles with her eyes. Like I don't know what fun little verb. Yeah, like, I don't know.
How do you say frowning in eyes? Scowl eyes. Scowsing.
It's awful though. It's terrifying because once you notice it, it's like it's just the most dead inside. Like because her eyes, she could even widen them or things, and it's still like the same. Like it's just nothing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, she has dead eyes from it. Like. Don't look directly at him.
It's very spooky.
Don't claim your soul.
Right. She just pulls terrifying Christmas decorations out of her soul.
Or they got the dead lights. Yeah, exactly. This is where we get our first title card.
Oh, boy, do we.
Black background with white text. This will be relevant, quote unquote, relevant later. Sure.
It just says Melania. Yes. Like I figured this was Weapons follow-up that you were having me watch this because this was the next chapter. Like,
ooh, wow, that's
Justine Archer, Melania.
That's a complex, shady read there. I love it. I'm all for it.
But right after the title card, we get the old directed by. Brett Ratner.
Yes.
What do you know about Brett Ratner, Tommy?
Brett Ratner. What was the...
So he's a famous guy. He has such directing credits under his belt as the Rush Hour movie.
That's right. Yes, Rush Hour.
Red Dragon, the Hannibal prequel.
Yes.
Fucking up the original third X-Men movie. X3.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, I remember that now.
And he was even directing Lego movies in like 2016, 2017, but yet he curiously stopped getting steady work around 2017. Do you know what happened to Mr. Ratner?
Tell us, Kyle, what happened.
Well, Could it have anything to do with these 6 women stepping forward to accuse him of sexual assault and masturbating in front of them and forcing them to do oral sex and exposing himself? And could it have anything to do with people reporting him and outing him like less offensive sort of things? And Elliot Page being like, and he outed me forcibly as a lesbian on the set of X3 and stuff.
Wow.
Could it have anything to do with him saying the phrase "rehearsal is for faggots" when in an interview about Tower Heist?
I might have said that before, but I get to say it.
Yeah, that's our word.
That's our word.
So time ran out on our friend Brett Ratner's.
Well, or so we thought.
Kind of, yeah. So, like, most Hollywood in general, like, shunned him in this case. Olivia Munn was actually one of the 6 women to step forward, so it was a bigger name. He got his $450 million contract canceled with... I forget what studio it was, but it had a long time run with
Warner
him,
Brothers.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So it's WB. This was his, like, Rat something or whatever
Rat
the fuck
Pack.
Yes. Something Rat Studio this man runs. Because, I saw that and I had to look it up because I was like, I don't think I've really seen that around, or at least not lately. And, only, like, one like show touched him as a producer since 2017, and this is his like return essentially.
Apparently, earlier this year, a photo was released of him sitting on a couch with Jeffrey Epstein and 2 young women. So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
So who knows? That
came out like right around the time Melania. So I think somebody was sitting on that being like, you know, it'd be really fucking funny.
Oh, Brett Ratner. Yeah. I mean, the Rush Hour films were fun. They were fun, right? Right? It's been a while. I only saw the first one. It's been a while too. So maybe if I saw it again, I don't. Who knows what I'd think about it.
The Rush Hour films are very fun, and there's a quote he has where somebody asked him like, "Was it difficult working with Melania, who had like broken English or whatever?" And Brett Ratner says in a quote that went viral off this movie, "Well, I worked with Chris Tucker. I know how to work with broken English." How to translate that?
Wow. Ooh. Well, there you go. All right. So Brett Ratner. He's a charmer, like so many of the figures in this documentary.
Known piece of shit, and I left my fucking annoying smug setup there. Could it be whatever? Ending in could it be that our president and his wife stooped to such lows and are associating with known sex criminals? Like, what? Alert the media.
Where is my fainting couch?
It made me think of the George of the Jungle guy who's like, now's the part where we throw our head back and laugh. But yeah, a fun bit of context for you as to why we're not getting Rush Hour 3 and to why this guy's a piece of shit. So there you go.
So yes. All right. So we get another voiceover by Melania, right? Notable line in it. Every day I live my life. I live with purpose and devotion, orchestrating the complexities of my life while nurturing my family's needs.
Yeah.
Again, we're in fantasy world here, folks. Or just I don't know, maybe I'm being too snarky here. This is just such an ironic juxtaposition between her delivering this line and then the very next moment, which is just her making a bunch of bland, simple fashion choices about fabric. And no, this looks bad. Cut it. And it's just, the complexities of your blessed bubble. This blessed safe bubble of a life here. Oh God!
That statement was immediately followed by no less than 5 servants being in the room when she talks about how difficult it is for her to run her family in a household. And so, yes, again, great juxtaposition.
Yeah.
We didn't need to do anything. It's like they set us up to dunk the ball. They're like, they held it up near the basket and we're like, would you like to dunk this ball? Just like jump up and go boop.
If I had a crate of rotten tomatoes, I would have been hurling them. Like I was saying, I was looking to really just tear this film apart, and then this film serves at moments like this. I had to spend no effort. really.
No, not at all. Yeah, you're like, oh wow, okay, take care of your family's needs, and then it thrills us by the genius as Melania identifies the difference between two fabrics and that navy is also in fact not black.
What? Get out of town, Kyle.
What the fuck? God, the cinema's riveting. And then I have more walking. Melania walks down a staircase, down a hall, and around a corner to reveal she's back in the same fucking room we just left in the editing. Like, I guess she took her fit out for a walk, like how your mom always has you do in a shoe store, like when you buy them in the aisle, like go walk with them.
One moment that I love that the documentary actually kept in was she made this suggestion about cutting a piece of the shirt, and her entire style team just grimaces.
Yeah,
they're just looking at themselves like, she didn't actually suggest that, right? What a terrible suggestion. And it felt like this is the first of a number of moments that I started noticing about Melania clocking someone. And I didn't know if this is what the documentary meant to set up, was just Melania is the boss in the room and she's clocking them, telling them what to do. But I felt for that design team. Like, they just all look like they're about to have nausea at this suggestion.
Well, she always would suggest very difficult things, and then she would leave the room and be like, well, that's not my problem. She would say things like, this hat needs to be wider, and the guy's like, I don't fucking know what to do with that. Like, this is a hat. Like, I don't.
They're trying to save her from her terrible fashion choices here about just outright cutting fabric and whatnot.
Like the thing she's suggesting, they're like, well, we have to
tear it into the fabric,
ruin the garment. Right. Yeah, at this point to do what you need to do, but that's all she did. She's just saying things out loud. She's like, I'm an idea person, essentially, without saying it.
Yeah. Anyone can be an idea person, by the way. Anyone can just say something. Yeah.
I think it should be great. Like this. I think it should be like this. And then the little French American. Let's talk about the people in the room, because this is a very funny scene for one, because there's two male designers.
Yeah.
And then off in the corner, it's sort of like a Sherry Pie on Drag Race thing. It was like if you blinked or if they were like a little out of the corner of your eye thing, but there were two people in turtlenecks.
Yes.
And they looked like at first like a father and a child to me.
I honestly couldn't tell if that was like a brother sister or a husband wife. You thought it might actually be a father child.
Oh.
I didn't read that kind of age skew, but
it's absolutely in the end an adult female. But the way they showed it at first and the height difference between these two people, so I was like, well, that's weird. We just have a child in here with Melania. She's ordering this around, and then we learn this other guy. He is her French-American designer. Yeah. He's designed for her for several years, and his name is Hervé Pierre, I want to say. I'm probably fucking that up.
Yeah.
But he certainly seems gay, but that's sometimes just being French. It kind of just reads the same way.
Take that, French people. Yeah.
Well, the internet has no information on his sexuality, because I lightly Googled this. So I was like, all right, let's figure this out. But
he might just be flamboyant.
Is he gay or is he French? It's just a funny question, though.
and expressive about fashion, which is going to make you sound gay if you're in the United States, for sure.
Right.
Almost certainly. But yeah, so
but the child-sized woman at one point too reaches up to because her clavicle, they're making her take measurements of this woman when she's clearly struggling with it, and they're like, I don't know why the taller man can't, because they seem to be doing the same job. I don't know what's going on with this, but that was very funny watching that happen. And
and she's only that tall because of her 8 or 9 inch stiletto heels. Credits to Melania for being able to walk at all. For as much as she walks in this, those heels, there's something else that really, what do they look like? 6-inch stiletto heels or something?
Pretty tall. Yeah. I mean,
I didn't think feet could do that, really. But yeah.
But yeah, cute little matching black turtlenecks. It definitely reminded me again of that. Yeah, Will Ferrell folding clothes scene with a tiny little scooter too. Yeah, it's
they had a kind of sprockets thing going on. Yeah, for sure. That's why I kind of thought they were like a brother-sister duo.
Right, or an experimental improv troupe in the corner. Yeah, when you've just gotten two black turtleneck people just ready to burst at any moment. I don't know. But anyway, I'm mostly stalling and writing about this bullshit because Melania's rambling about how she's so interesting for appreciating a great garment and is such a fashionista for telling her designers that worked hard on this fucking thing to cut a big part of it off. And then she just leaves the room because that's a them problem now. And we get a weird tracking shot of the tiny lady I mentioned earlier where they only that's like a shaky cam, only parts of her in frame as she's like climbing the tower to Melania's like literal ivory tower to fucking deliver her the garment or something. And it was such a weird, like unself-aware like moment or shot of her.
The struggle, the labor of this. Yeah. Let's see. We got another SUV caravan after this to the event planner for the inauguration. There is a lot to be said about Melania's fashion sense. My feeling about it is that it's very almost masculine coded. She wears a lot of it would seem like feminized male business suits.
That's true.
And this one almost had a kind of equestrian feel to it, right? It had something very, not so much athletic, but like Lord of the Field.
She owns the whole glue factory.
Yeah, exactly.
In the outfit
the polo team and the glue factory. Exactly.
Yeah, she has like a sharp, edgy thing to it too. Like, because I mean, like, think of her, stabby Christmas decorations, and like they're like, "What color should we make it?" She's like, "Blood."
Yeah,
there's sharp hat edges and stuff.
There's a very masculine, austere, almost kind of brutal quality to her fashion and aesthetic sense, right? As we've seen in her Rose Garden redecoration, which it goes from being a Rose Garden to being this decidedly more featureless and austere. Again, it black and white Rose Garden. It has the Melania Trump of her favorite colors of black and white. And it's just, this is reflected in her fashion sense, as we saw earlier in the first like designing. And now, and again, now she's wearing like a tan suit at least, but it's still, there's something very kind of almost jackbooted about her fashion choices. But also,
that couldn't be Tommy. We hate tan suits. We would never.
Only if Obama's wearing it. Yeah, basically.
God help you if you have Dijon mustard on that tan suit.
But there's just something very defensive about her clothing choices, right? Just this suit, the one before, what we'll see as her ultimate dress to the inauguration. She wears these almost defensive-looking, like, uniform or officer coats.
She sure does. And I don't think she did this a lot in the first like go around or whatever. Like I think it was more feminized.
Yeah,
I think I was not tracking her back then necessarily.
I remember her fashion choices. Melania 1.0. Her fashion choices being more traditional first lady, right? More in the style of Jackie Kennedy. Right.
Agreed.
But now it's far more militarized. Almost. This is commando Melania. This Melania is going to do a cartwheel on your face.
Dress for the fascist regime you want, I suppose.
Yeah. Like the Melania 2.0 is decidedly more aggressive and masculine in presentation. But yeah.
It's all very odd too because like really what we're leading into is just Melania talking about inauguration decor for the next several minutes, and it's all very like ballroom coded at the moment. They're playing like soft twinkly piano music in the background while like fawning over decorations and color palettes are really just an enveloping red like fucking idiots. They're like, oh, it's red, and she's like, I chose that, and he's like, it's so red, and she's like, I know, and it's fucking like Josh wanted to scream like, at some point, but
red. It's so red right now. Red. Yeah.
And at this point, I wrote down, like, we've yet to see Melania do anything at all besides make some approvals. And everything she has done has been, like, cosmetic, like fashion or party planning stuff. And the whole point of this movie is presumably to dispel the notions that, like, all Melania does is make horrific, haunted Christmas hallway decorations and wear tone-deaf trench coats and shit. But we're like a seventh of the way through this movie, and we're talking about plates and flowers in between like licensed needle drops to make you feel something in your soul while watching this movie. Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. The music comes on heavy for sure.
This is the part where I was talking about voiceover Melania being cunty, though, because it's so funny. Melania comes now to meet with her like interior designer. I think it's Tam something. Like, But as this woman like starts to speak and to like, we are conversing as humans, Melania in real life just like nods, and then voiceover Melania starts talking over that person in a way that's just like so fucking funny to me. Just like having her own internal monologue and thoughts over somebody, like where you're like pretending to listen to somebody else, you're just nodding, and you're like,
just real live interpretive dance of Melania's inner state, basically, right? Just zoning out and listening only to herself.
And she's not talking about something crazy different. She's also talking about interior design, which is the funniest fucking thing to me, that they just like just attention and credit stealing like moment of anything. She's like, no. She said too many smart things about interior design. Give me ADR over where I'm going to say things about interior design. Like, lower her voice.
Scandalous. Love it. Just so shameless.
It's just another attempt to make it look like she does anything at all, though. Like, this whole movie is just like shoving her up, and she fucking, in this quote that again makes me want to scream, she says, and I quote, "As First Lady, I honor the importance of the White House and its very special place in our nation's history." And in the very next breath, she says, "During my last term, I restored the Rose Garden."
Yeah.
Which they fucking bulldozed the Rose Garden for this unauthorized ballroom this term. And I just...
Yeah. Restored. That's an interesting use of that word. Isn't it?
I can't believe this like made it into the movie, because this like just came out, and like the Rose Garden has been gone for at least half a year, if not more now. And it's so funny that she's like, I take credit. This is one of the things that I like put on my list.
Didn't age well, did it?
My husband just destroyed it. Like he does everything else for anybody else around him that loves things. Like,
No, it got paved over. Yeah. And then redesign Camp David. That's a very broad statement.
Yeah.
I had to do a bit of research on this. She was involved probably in the way that we have been watching her be involved in the interior redesign of the Aspen Cottage at Camp David, which is the presidential cottage. Apparently, though, Trump hated most of these redecorations so much that he basically reversed it. Like most of it, if not all of it.
Well, I'm sure they were horrifying. It's just like this weird black and white hellscape.
It's one of these last final quirky stories like 10 days before Biden was inaugurated. So it kind of largely got ignored, but yeah. So anyway, so we get Melania talking about the differences in the needs that they'll have for the White House as a residence now, with Barron having grown up, right? So, when you think about it, Barron was 10 years old,
right?
First go around being first child, in the United States, and now he's 18-year-old. Ungangly tall, like 6'9".
And I mean, people basically thought of him as like off limits and probably innocent, and probably, maybe he won't turn out like a horrific bastard.
Sure. Let's hold our breath while we wait to find out.
Time will tell, but he's definitely now a giant gangly boy now.
He's a tall drink of water, no matter what else, for sure. Yeah.
It's funny though, because he's like a tall man's body, but his face is still extremely childlike, and so he looks like 2 or 3 children in a trench coat at the end of the day. Like.
Adorable.
Well, especially because it's like the same guy that does his dad suits do his that are like loose and weird, and so seems like it at least. But
they definitely have a favorite tailor for sure.
So this is the point where in my notes I'm thinking of this like middle America Trump supporting man in the theaters, like being a dutiful like soldier in the culture war and just
a real MAGA warrior and all that.
Yeah, because people are mocking it, and you're like, well, I'm gonna go see it, I'm gonna support, and they'll have a big opening weekend, and I'll show you and shit. But like, we are 36 minutes in or so, and we have done question mark that is not about interior design or about
well, and not only 36 minutes in, but it's now a touching story about her designer's story as an immigrant, juxtaposed with her own journey as an immigrant.
This guy hates French people and gay people. And women.
Yeah, the Trump administration, one and now two, notorious for their friendly disposition towards immigration and immigrants in general. How kind and sweet for these touchy moments be included in the documentary, and how well they fit in with the milieu. What the fuck?
Yeah, you called it out real quick too, because it was Tam. I think she was like 2 whenever her family came over from Laos and stuff. And then I don't know about Hervé's family when the French thing, because he called himself French American, like when that was immigrated or whatnot.
Yeah, this is a very ethnically an internationally diverse crew surrounding the Melania, the immigrant from Slovenia, right? Just for all of the animosity that the MAGA crowd loves to entertain about Europe and about immigrants. What a crew the Melania and company are. Just noted, I guess, maybe with no other further comment necessary.
Yeah, no. 2 possibly gay fashion designers, 2 hide in the shadows, measure things occasionally, Asian people off in the corner, and then Melania herself there, and the Slovenian immigrant, and it's just an interesting... Yeah, I don't know. Again, this guy probably not thrilled at minute 36 of this movie.
What the hell is this?
I think it gets better for him as we go. But
what the fuck am I watching?
Exactly. At the moment, he's like, this is bullshit.
Darlene, what the hell is this? Yeah.
So, against all odds, I learned something interesting from this movie, though, or really, I think relearned, but it's the fact that the transition, they only have like 5 hours between like old president, new president family.
Yeah, that's a little interesting bit of trivia there, the presidential transition window.
It's like a hotel room turnover is what it seems like. It's crazy,
but wild.
Like on much more steroids, especially when they were like literally all the furniture seemingly is like going in and out.
All the personal possessions, all the interior redesigning, it just has to be done in this super busy 5-hour window. Yeah.
Which is so weird.
And it's for constitutional reasons, basically.
Oh, is it? I was like, I don't know why they paint themselves into that corner.
No, it's because it's not just a change of residence; it's a change of presidential administrations, and so it's for that reason, right? It's just kind of crazy when you think about it. Why can't people be chill about this? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. And then, while that's sort of happening, we're talking about the turnover and how fast it has to go. We have some like sad and uplifting music in the background for a minute. It becomes apparent why is the designer acquaintance, and I say acquaintance because I would say friend. Yeah. But would a friend edit themselves talking over that person?
Does Melania have friends? I don't think Melania has friends. I didn't meet any of Melania's friends in this documentary. Did you? Did you meet one of them?
I thought Hervé, because when I first looked him up, it said he designed for since the 90s, but then it was and they specifically call out in the movie, I've only known you for 8 years at one point, and I'm like, oh, guess not.
Who knows?
Who could it be? But at that point, I mean, the lady from Laos talks about this moment signified everything her parents believed about this country and that it's really the American dream. But we don't dig into this at all because Melania has stopped listening and is looking at a cup. She is staring at this crystal thing from her own home country and says, what about this cup? It's from my country, right? And she just, we don't explore what that means. Was she saying that the fact that her designing for the first family is the American dream, or are her family big Trump supporters that are just that's the American dream? We'll never know because Melania saw a very pretty cup And so that conversation is over.
Stupid, touching conversation about an immigrant's journey. Blah.
Once again, I also came in wanting to rip this movie, but I don't have to go out of my way to do this when it's just like she just got...
It rips itself.
Yeah.
You just have to witness it, really.
What the fuck, Melania? Like...
That's cold-blooded, Melania. Jeez.
That was one of my favorite moments when we were in this movie, for sure.
All right, let's see.
She also, in a moment again, she looks at this beautiful glass cup, like fine artisanal craftsmanship that, like, if you fuck with it, it'll break in a million ways, I'm sure. She looks at it and says to her friend Tam, why don't you engrave this cup with a presidential seal, and then leaves the room again because it's not her problem. The difficult thing she asked for is over, and I don't care. I don't have to do it.
Melania's on the move.
Yeah. I asked you to do it. Whoop, Melania away.
Hey, that is some bad bitch energy right there. I'm going to drop this problem on you, and then I got to split. Yeah. So all right.
I think I wrote that one time and then deleted it in my notes. It was like queen shit. And then I was like, no, we're not going to. I'm not holding anything about her up. As
she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
Let's see. So next scene we have Melania's fashion designer.
Yes, his own little design challenge.
And we see exactly him sketching out what will be a dress that Melania will wear to one of the post inaugural balls, but it's like a stripe. It's like a white dress with a black stripe on it, but it's kind of it looks kind of like done freehand, right? And we see the fashion designer doing it with an ink felt pen, just kind of freehand drawing this kind of squiggly line down the dress, and then we see it designed in fabric on the dress, and it's, I don't know. I'm watching too much Project Runway, I think, right? and so I just naturally think of myself as like Michael Kors, just really like, he's gonna let him have it. I don't know. I felt like, again, this dress reminded me, honestly, of everything else that she wears in this documentary. It seemed defensive. There's something between Melania and everyone else.
Don't get too close to me.
Yeah, don't get too close to me.
Sticking out.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly. Yeah, it's a defensive dress, like everything else that she wears, even when it looks otherwise elegant. There's just this note of defensiveness about it. I don't know.
It was interesting looking. It was kind of like plain in a way that was also, obviously the little swooshy silver thing. And this is the dress I think I saw older groups of MAGA women that went out, like basically put together stuff for. They were like, we made a dress that looks like this. And you can, because it doesn't look like that difficult of a thing. It doesn't look like... And again, I guess not to shit on or Hervé here or something, but you could at least do something cheap and a mock-up of it in a way that would be passable or something.
It seemed just a bit too simple.
Yeah.
A bit too austere in that regard, right? It had a nice idea on paper, but just the production of it was just too minimal. It needed some embellishment. I don't know. It had a swoop. It had a squiggly line.
But this fucking movie, I start to realize how much they're padding the runtime when the first time we see this dress, they don't just show it to us.
Yeah.
She has to slowly walk down a whole staircase and then down a hallway and around a corner, and then they're like, it's the dress, and they poke and prod at it, and they do whatever, and like they don't show the end result even. They just they have to show so much of this process and bullshit, and like
this is the Duchess Melania. This is one of the Duchess's moments, and this is what really pads out this film, is just moments like this where it's Melania trying on a dress and it just goes on and on and on, and then Melania giving advice, quote unquote, to someone involved in the inauguration or design or something like that. And it's just, this is the Duchess doing her courtly duties. But you're right. It really pads it out in a way that's kind of shameless after a while.
It's ridiculous. And like, I'm keeping an eagle eye out for anything she does. And in this scene, she orders again, but she doesn't do anything. And like, one of the things she says is she's like, cut the dress from the bottom, make it like a little whatever. And then they do that. And as she like walks around in it for a second, she looks down and in like blinding insight, she says like, the dress is shorter now. And it was like, it sure is. You got it. Way to go.
She's clocking him again.
You're not wrong. That is at least 3. Like,
it's like, yes, they will cut off all this dangling ass fabric. I don't know. For someone who was a model or whatnot, I just would assume that she would understand that. They're going to do that. I don't know. I found that just an interesting moment just for that reason. It's like, of course they're going to cut it shorter. Like, come on. But anyway, I guess it just gave her a moment to say something.
Exactly. It's like somebody that, this would get done. I know this or whatever, but it gives you a moment to have input. And that's what that is. She's just like almost a rubber stamp or somebody where they just like entertain her or whatever. Or just like, oh, that's so smart. That's so good or whatever.
And just once again, it's Melania just disappearing into the scene. And it's at this moment when I started realizing that I've had this recurring thought and I just didn't really understand what it was. I wish that I was watching a documentary about the other person in the room with Melania.
Yes.
And it was at this moment in the film that I realized that I had had this thought like 3 times now, where just Melania basically went invisible, just kind of on a cognitive level, where I just couldn't register her at all. It was just kind of like a epistemological blindness, and it's just because she has no personality whatsoever, like just no charisma, and it's just you cannot focus on her. I wish I was watching a documentary about her fashion designer. Or anyone else. Just, oh my God.
It's funny because this scene tries to prop her up in a way too. I mentioned or alluded to this, but she's talking to the designer about how the dress needs to be cut at the bottom, and the music in the background speeds up, and it's like, no. And she's like, and then cut the dress. And then like, even though she didn't even cut the dress, she just told him to cut the dress or something. It like, they make the music stop then as if she did something. And it's like, but she fucking didn't. And this is like the weirdest editing tricks to like make this boring ass scene or any of these scenes that seem like something happened, and it's the dumbest thing. Like,
hey, I would say this is an editor who deserves a round of applause because they made this more interesting than it had any right to be. They pulled out all the stops. They found a narrative arc in this scene where there was none at all. They created it out of nothing. Good for them.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. This really, what did we get out of this scene, though? Like, because and honestly, if we went scene by scene in this movie, it would be painstaking. But like, I bet the answer would be nothing for most of the time. What did I get from this scene? And it would either be nothing, or it would be the inspirational phrase that Melania lifted from a book in that given moment. That voiceover Melania fucking decided to be like, and here's my wisdom.
I don't feel like I have a sense of who Melania is, not at this moment. And watching it, and I'll say this again when we get to the end of our review of this. I don't ever feel like I have a sense of who Melania is, or maybe this is just who she is. She's either this bland, or it was just she was so guarded to the point where why even make this? Why even make this? Why? What? Except to be a puff piece, of course. Just some fawning bribe on the part of Amazon to the Trump administration. But she is so guarded. Maybe that's the most charitable way of reading this. Like, just guarded to the point where she reveals nothing, and as such is just terribly bland. I'm hoping that there's a more vibrant person somewhere in there.
Right.
I'm hoping
that there's something. And I mean, now's as good of a time as any to spill the beans on the fact that Melania got a full editing cut things. She got the final cut and final say on stuff. So this is her monstrosity in a sense.
I assumed that she would have that she must have final say in whatever got sent to distribution. I couldn't imagine that she wouldn't, which is why all of these supremely ironic moments are just amazing to me. Because she eyeballed this just like I did, and she let this through. So much of this seems like just a stone cold read of her to her own face. I don't know.
That's a very uncharitable read, but honestly, I mean, it's fair and true because, yeah, I mean, if you can only work with what she has given you and such, that's a very hard place to be in because what can you even make out of this such? And I mean, a lot of this movie, like we're going to cover in the second half, is just like rehashed footage, too, of like events that were filmed or that we've seen this shit before. Speeches that have been done, that have been aired and such. And so, like, why do I care? What are we doing here? But this is when we also get French music as we learn more about our Frenchman Hervé because, honey, that hand is heavy. And this is when, again, the MAGA man in the audience is fuming because we've transitioned away from interior design and dress fashion talk to the gay French immigrant talk. And we're like, we have weirdly shaky cam shots of people walking like through and being in and out of frame again. And then like the several camera pans to make it like look like action is happening as like Melania's meeting with another person where they're both sitting still. And you're like, what are we doing here? But
hey, look, it creates dynamism where there is none. No life at all. So, hey, good camera tricks.
I don't disagree in that you're like being like the editor breathed life into this dead, rotting corpse. I'm just calling out, I suppose, like that they have to do these things. Like,
yeah.
No scene has like natural gravity or anything pulling you in. Or there's no scene in the movie I could pick out and say like, well, at least there was that one scene. Or that was an interesting conversation between... No, it doesn't exist. Like this is such a garbage movie that I just
No, Melania's mode is that of the disappearing act, just constantly just blending into the background no matter what. And it doesn't help with her super austere fashion choices too, right? Just the constant black and white fashion choices. Of course, it's like an emotional camouflage. You just immediately blank her out from your consideration.
She's also ruthless. Like I don't know that you could ever call her a girl's girl either, because this next scene we have is her meeting with her like chief of staff, Haley something or other. I don't give a fuck. But Haley starts talking and voiceover Melania 80 hours over her again, and does the thing where like it's like I don't care. Like the two women she's worked with so far, she has talked over while they are in the scene talking to her.
Yeah, it'd be a moment to actually see something that's real about her, right? You could see her interacting with someone you would expect her to work with closely every single day, her chief of staff, right? But we don't even get to see that. It's how guarded this production really truly is, right? Any moment where you might actually get a sense of her real personality. I want to know if Melania Trump is just a stone cold bitch or if she's a warm, bubbly person. I just want to I want to see something.
Anything.
Just something at all, as opposed to these small crumbs and morsels that they let escape. It's just nothing, you know. Like I'm starved for some knowledge of what she is as a person.
Who are you?
Yeah, just who are you? Yeah, exactly.
But this scene is extra funny too, though, because like as Haley is talking, it's like all Melania is doing in this conversation is nodding, but the camera pans over to Melania as if she's doing something again. Like just trying to be like, here is action. And Melania just nod while the person in the scene talking is being talked over by Melania, again seeming like she's doing the dumbass like sitcom thing where she's just nodding and talking in her own head like while zoning out on this person that's trying to speak to you that works for you, Melania. Like,
Yeah. And who knows if these were actual interviews that she was conducting. She seems, it's odd that she hires both of them on the spot. I mean, when does that happen? But I don't know.
I don't even know what the point of this scene is in this. That's the chief thing. Like, so that's gone. We did the chief of her.
I think it's a show. It's just show business Melania. You know, like Melania doing business and staffing her office and her various projects. And this is her team. Capital T team, right? This is the FLOTUS team. Yeah.
But it could have been a fun moment because it could have been more than two girls. It could have been a reality show, whatever. Like, she could have said why she selected these people. It could have been like, I think you match my personality because of XYZ, because she says something like that. She's like, joining my team, being a fit on my team or whatever. What is that? Who are you? Who fits with you, Melania? Like,
if this were a true documentary, we would get this content with each of them individually, with Melania's interactions with them as a way of fleshing out the character of Melania. But because this is not a documentary at all, this is a puff piece, those moments, of course, don't work well when you're trying to advertise yourself, which is, like, and I'm probably going to say this a number of times, it's a very guarded character, Melania, in this. Right. This
even
Melania,
her hat guards her face. Yeah,
exactly.
From the sun and from other people looking at her. Like, it looked like her designer was CEO on that fucking lamp thing. Like,
ooh.
I have like 4 more of these written down. That one I didn't even have written down.
That was a good one. Yeah.
They used the same outfit for her whenever their South Park mocked it recently. They did an episode where like Trump was in the White House and he like called a seance or like an exorcism because he's like, this thing, it like follows me around, and like it was just Melania in that outfit, like in the background. He's like, sometimes when I like look in a mirror, it's there and stuff, and like. Alluding to the fact both that Trump and Melania just are not around each other much, and the fact that she's so terrifying looking in that. She looks like a fucking like sleep paralysis demon, like in a professional business suit.
Yeah. She looks like a villainous figure of some kind, for sure. Yeah. We get a moment after her interactions with her new hires of talking with Donald Trump on the phone. I'm assuming this is the night of the election, or the night afterwards where they had all the results in. I believe this is the night of the election where it was pretty clear that Kamala Harris was going to lose. And he's gloating about projected electoral count. And it turns out that, it was as lopsided as he is gloating about. And it's just gross.
I wonder if it was just like certified or something, because if she's already picking out flowers and plates for the inauguration, I didn't know if this was like slightly out of order, or more likely, that this is like, they're just like crossing their T's and dotting their I's.
I guess that's what I was wondering, because it was after her hiring her staff, and maybe and I didn't get a clear sense of the chronology just because of that. Like, just this conversation sounded like it was night of the election, but. Yeah. Anyway, it was just still just like, God, there's that motherfucker gloating. It's like, great.
And I mean, the interviewees thing that they did, like at one point, voiceover Melania says they basically have to vibe with her as they're not only serving her, but also serving the country. We see Melania like pick up a dense resume she assuredly did not read. Like, absolutely not.
They're not just serving my office; they're serving the country. Yeah, I definitely let out a lusty "fuck you."
Yeah. Okay.
At that moment, I will confess.
And she started to ask those interviewees like what they would change about last term, which to me was like, is she re-interviewing or hiring these people, or like, do you just assume they have a deep knowledge of what your campaign did last term, or like your office?
Well, I you would think that someone interviewing for that role would do their Melania research. They would know everything, all of her initiatives and everything she attached her name to. So sure, but it's just kind of a generic question.
That's a funny thing you mention, is because like the interviewee like starts to answer, and Melania like nods like she loves to do, and Melania then non sequiturs away from her own question into mentioning her Be Best initiative from the first term. And do you remember what that is, Tommy?
No, what is that, Kyle?
That is Melania's little pet project involving like stopping kids from bullying and just like being mean to each other.
Hilarious.
But specifically, like cyberbullying was part of it, and so there's some fun ironic bits to this. But like, first of all, the whole thing is like a childlike attempt to like sort of one up Michelle Obama. She had like a be better thing, and so like this is like a be best, and so this is one of those dumb Trump things like, oh, look at that, I win now. I did a Infinity +1 on you or whatever bullshit.
Right.
So.
Infinity +1.
Like, I mean. Melania's own senior advisor, Stephanie Winston-Wolkoff, called the slogan illiterate and pushed for an alternative slogan, Children First, which Melania rejected due to similarities with her husband's America First branding. Even though, like, wouldn't that be synergistic, Melania? Like, but you just don't want it at all. Like, I don't like my husband. Like that guy, like...
I don't like children that much.
She commented to her staff, and this is a funny line, just a little foreshadowing. She says, well, at least they won't say I plagiarized it for like the Children First if they went with that for America First. Then Melania Trump faced accusations of a plagiarization of Michelle Obama's speech as part of her Be Best campaign in 2018, if you remember, where she gave a speech that appeared to very closely echo remarks made by Michelle Obama in 2016, and also distributed a pamphlet that was
I remember this.
Identical just about to one published under the Obama administration in 2014.
God, I remember this.
So why would you not want to be people to say you plagiarized shit, Melania? Like,
God.
But
yeah.
the Be Best campaign also, drew criticism over perceived hypocrisy for its goal of challenging cyberbullying, as her husband Donald Trump was out on Twitter every fucking day attacking people on social media.
Yeah, constantly.
So, just a real noted comparison out there all the time that she kind of like acknowledged occasionally, but then would continue on because she's like, nah.
Just so trollishly ironic that what can you say? Yeah, just it's just wow, bravo.
I think the last time her Be Best hashtag trended on Twitter was after the president sent a critical tweet directed at then 16-year-old Greta Thunberg.
Yeah,
because people ironically fucking got it going to be like,
God, yeah, really sticking it to Greta. God, yeah, God, just insufferable. And yeah, exactly. Just, I don't even know how to deal with the gaslighting of these people championing a cyberbully campaign. Just, but really, bravo to the villainy of it. Really,
it's incredible. Yeah, the naked villainy.
All right. Well, back to this documentary, quote unquote. The next scene is we get news of the death of Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter. He died on January 9th, 2024. This is 11 days before the inauguration, right? So in the midst of the hustle and bustle of Melania managing the complexities of her life, she must quickly go to D.C. for a state funeral for former president.
Cameraman, follow me from the hallway to the car, to the plane, to the other plane, to the funeral. To the
we get scenes of Melania looking somber, and somber Melania, funny enough, looks like every other form of Melania, as her face does not move.
Not at all. It doesn't change.
And does not register emotion of any kind whatsoever. So, we get a sense of the depths of her sadness for the passing of Jimmy Carter by how it plays out in her facial expressions, which are nothing ever. For real, someone get the Botox away from this woman. Like, really, like, liberate her face. Liberate Melania's face. Really, I want to see facial expressions on her face for more than 15 seconds. Because I don't think I saw it.
No, not the whole film.
In this entire film. For real.
I've seen like a picture of her smiling. I feel like this was a whole movie about her, like edited by her, and she still was not like smiling or having a good time. Like,
liberate Melania's face. I want this to be a hashtag campaign. For real.
I think I saw her smile from the side when she greeted the airplane crew, like I said, but then like when she turned back around to the camera, just dropped immediately like a stone into the ocean.
She only gets 5 minutes total of face movement in one day, I guess. But so she arrives, she greets Trump on the tarmac. We get one of multiple moments where they look like they're going to embrace, and Donald Trump seems like he's swooping in for a kiss, and Melania dodges. Melania will not let this man kiss her on the lips at all. She acquiesces to being kissed on the cheeks, though. It's just constantly, you get the vibe that Melania does not want to be near this man at all. Does not want this man's lips anywhere near her face. Does not want any showing of affection from him. Doesn't want him embracing her at all, or showing any kind of gesture that's affectionate, but affectionate between two people who have sex. None of that at all. This is definitely like awkward father-daughter chemistry constantly, but with like a pervy father or like a pervy uncle, you know, like uncle, niece, but pervy uncle.
And we've seen it for years play out. Like, and it's very much like, you know, a 90-Day Fiance thing where, like, just the wife was like, well, I'm tied to you, but I don't love you. And like, you're saying horrible things to me all the time, and you're awful, and like you're a mean drunk and whatever, but I'm tied to you. So
we get a sense of the real affection that Donald Trump has for Melania with such lines as, "You look like a movie star. Well, now you're back in Washington." And it was just done in this deadpan way of like, well, now you're back here. And that was like, and now moving on. And it's just, it's like Melania's facial expressions. His voice just is so affectless when talking to Melania. I don't hear anything that suggests that this is a couple that spends more than 10 days in a room together a year, right? Just there are things that between a couple suggest that they are a couple, right? Like various tender moments and like loving things and like little things like that. And it's just kind of like Melania's rose garden, just antiseptic, just nothing, no growth or warmth, like nothing.
Yeah, there's not much there. And I mean, they can't even edit it to look that way. She's constantly away from him and like by choice and such. And so it just rings so hollow when she's constantly saying things about family. And you're like, lady, we all have eyes.
Just,
like
just
we've
drop
seen
the
this
act.
for...
Come on. Yeah, there's no more known quantity than the Trump family. Come on. No one buys this shit. Come on. Like, really, just stop.
None of the kids even like you. It's just like you and Barron. You could just say like Barron instead of family or something. But
I perhaps they care for their son. Perhaps Melania loves her son. I just don't. She doesn't talk about her son except in a way that suggests that he is off in boarding school, right? That there's a governess who knows a lot more about Barron than she does, or a nanny or something. Again, this lifestyles of the rich and famous, right? Just if you're wondering as a devoted MAGA Joe Blow, whether or not this was a salt of the earth guy that you could have a beer with. Yeah, I don't know about that. Sorry to disappoint you if you needed to be disappointed still.
Yeah, or if you really like idolize Trump and you are a big into him guy, like seeing him be snubbed like that or seeing the cold, loveless relationship they have act out on screen like transactionally and such, where like I will pose next to you in my weird, terrifying Grim Reaper outfit. And then we're done, and I'll go to these various balls with you because you know I love balls. But other than that, like,
yeah.
But they try to like, and this is again one of the moments where it's like you can tell Melania is sort of in charge of the editor. They try to have a story at all to this movie or through line or documentary, and it just so happens that like they use Jimmy Carter's death to shoehorn in the fact that her mom died on that day a year prior.
Yeah.
And that's not that long ago. Mom was a huge figure. Like, I'm not there to shit on that for her. But she basically, like, it is funny the way they frame it where they're like, Jimmy Carter has died. And Melania's like, that's so sad. I don't really care about that. Like, I care about this thing that's, you know, important to me.
It's kind of like her monologue drowning out whoever's currently talking to her
exactly
or with her. It's her. And it's just... This is what I felt was just a really gross move on the part of the documentary. And I didn't really feel like this was a statement about Melania. This just felt like a gross move on the part of the documentary to play the dead mother card like they did, right? Mm-hmm. It goes on and on and on in a way that doesn't really, we don't get a sense of Melania, the character, by way of her grief. It's just putting the fact that her mother died in the audience's face so much. It almost felt like it was daring you to snark. It was like looking at you and daring you to say anything like shitty or catty about her dead mother, because we're playing the dead mother card, and don't you dare say anything right now. But it just. I would be fine with a moment with Melania talking about her grief if it revealed anything about her as a person, and it just didn't. And it's just, once again, we were cheated out of this. This is supposed to reveal something about her. It's a documentary, and it didn't. And it's just, it kind of violates a certain social contract or something, you know. But, yeah,
there's only like one or two scenes where even like she starts to like, and I'm like, oh, we might learn something about her. This might be like her past or her something, and then it just shuts down immediately.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I want to know more about this in order to know more about the primary character of this documentary. And nope, don't get it. We don't get it. It's like, nope, this is not a documentary. Or it's sorry, this isn't.
The other thing about this whole like mom thing going on in the Jimmy Carter bit is at one point like they're interviewing just Trump alone, and you talk about him saying shitty things about her. He's just kind of talking. He's like, yeah, my mother-in-law, she's great. She died a year ago. But you know, this one over here won't get over it.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I wrote this line down. Oh my God. Yeah.
This one had a hard time with that.
Yeah. Like, and I don't want to say it too loud because this one had a hard time with that. This one, making a thumb pointing like behind my back gesture, like to this mook behind me here. This one had a hard time with it. That's your wife of 2 decades plus.
Whose mom died, like had a hard time with it. Like
this one. God damn. That is stone cold.
Yeah. Silly this one having a hard time with their mother died.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. But even in the midst of all of this, the other just gross feeling I had was that they were using the death of Jimmy Carter to glorify Melania just because she was there at the funeral. And it's just Melania, the tragedy vampire, right? Swooping in on a tragedy to suck the life out of it. Just, gross. And it just, of course she was there. This was a state funeral. She was the first lady elect, you know. Of course she would be there. But again, just the way that the documentary presents this is so gross. And it's just, again, this is a documentary being gross. I didn't really think this is so much like Melania, like doing anything. Just like, why would the documentary juxtapose these things in this way to make it seem like she's choosing the run roughshod over Jimmy Carter's funeral? Like, what is this?
It's like, so weird. Like that definitely, and I mean, like, again, it's kind of understandable on a personal level to be like, listen, somebody way closer to me than Jimmy Carter died a year ago on this day, I guess. But it also, I could make the argument that, yes, maybe it's revealing her as a terrible tragedy vampire, as you mentioned, because it calls out at the end, she visits all these like disaster zones and sites. At one point, she is emotionlessly watching these sad,
fires burn down in California.
Fires burning down in California.
Yeah, and you know that it's moving her by the way of her facial expression, which is nothing. Nothing at all.
Can you imagine how comforted you would be if Melania showed up to the side of your tragedy and just like, and nothing to you with her Botox face?
Jeez. Just utterly affectless and disconnected from the reality around her. Just literally and figuratively as a political entity. There's this film that we should perhaps watch and do a review on, and it's going to be brutal. It's called The Zone of Interest. There was a lot of very snarky comparison to this, and The Zone of Interest. Just The Zone of Interest, just briefly outline. It's a colonel of a concentration camp and his family live in this beautiful house, right? It has a garden. It's nicely interior decorated and upholstered and furnished and all that. It is right next door to the concentration camp where the colonel works. And it's just about their surreal life in proximity to the horror right next door. And so, of course, the snarky comparison to Melania, the documentary, and just how this character is presented, right? Just how she's just so blithely unaware, or seemingly affectless, or just unaffected, disaffected. Just emotionally alienated. I don't know. But her face doesn't move. Whatever she's feeling on the inside, she makes no indication of it at all.
I don't know, because I really wonder how she feels about stuff. Like, there are a couple times in this latter bit where she talks about the American people, and they love me, and I want to do good for the American people. And I'm like, do you feel connected with them at all, almost? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Even on your most personal connections, it doesn't seem like you're connected with them. And so it's very hard to see, even in your marriage and shit. So how can you possibly be like, yes, I connect with other people? If you can't do friends and family right, how are other people going to meet the bar here?
I would like to see her connect with one person in this entire documentary. I would have loved to just had just one moment with her and Baron. I guess, again, they have to be so guarded, right? They don't want to give the pundits anything. I don't know.
Well,
but a documentary would have
but
these things,
they whatever her final edit was, gave them nothing behind the scenes. Not a single unmakeuped moment, not a single candid between family scenes. Every moment, her and Donald are on screen. They're in suits. They're fully made up. Yeah. There's no veneer off it. There's no any beneath the layers. It's just the top layer that I'm letting you see.
Just very formal, very brittle, very, exactly. After the Jimmy Carter's service, we have Melania flying back to New York. Again, Melania in transport, in the midst of her ruminations on grief.
Well, we meet her dad.
Again, her facial expressions are just a myriad of emotions. I'm kidding. No, your face doesn't move.
No, not so much. We meet her dad briefly for a moment in a scene, I think, back there. And he talks about her, with Melania, how his 60-year relationship with, the mom taught Melania everything about love and how she learned it all from them. And I thought, yikes, if so, what is your relationship like? If that's what you modeled, and she's like, this is perfect, this is great, this is my relationship. I learned how to be chilly and avoidant and actively be in different cities whenever possible in my loving relationship.
No kidding. I don't know. 57-year marriage. Who knows? Good for them. Hey, Melania and Trump, Donald Trump, they've been married for 20 plus years now. So, hey, they're still happily, quote unquote, married together. I don't know. I would have been just happy if this documentary gave me any insight whatsoever into this dynamic. It doesn't. It of course just doesn't at all. We will have some moments with Donald and Melania, and again, it's just Donald is such a loathsome and weird figure that it's hard to.
It's so odd.
It's hard to imagine that this is some tender moment between the two of when they have. I will get to those when they have. Oh my God!
Hateful hunchback in an oversized suit. Constantly going on. But yeah, so it's more sad music. Yeah. Melania is wearing sunglasses indoors at the funeral as the only one to do so, and then she is next seen on the plane where she's still wearing those sunglasses indoors in the plane too, and makes no move to take them off.
Yeah.
What are you doing, lady? What are you hiding? Moreover,
well, who knows what that church did to her eyes? Maybe they were spewing black ichor at that point, or
that's right after. Yeah, more dead mother talk, and then more Melania walking. We get a lot of walking again. This time down a large cathedral aisle as the music plays, and makes it seem neat by having Aretha Franklin sing "Amazing Grace" while Melania lights a candle.
This was such a bizarre music choice too, by the way.
Yes.
This was a live, just by the recording, you could tell this was a live performance by Aretha Franklin doing a very, very soulful rendition of "Amazing Grace." Just pulling out all the works. This rendition goes on and on. It's very emotional, and you have the crowd just really getting into it. It sounds like it's done in a church, right? It sounds like it has a church crowd,
choir
in the background. Yeah. But just what in the world does this have to do with Lily White, Melania in a Catholic church in New York? Just the aesthetic conflict was just bizarre,
crazy.
Yeah, and it just, why choose this piece of music? There's all kinds of religious somber music or just religious inspirational music, but it was just Black Aretha Franklin being the background music for white Melania in a Catholic church. It just none of it makes sense. Like it makes sense in a way that's like very cynical, but like doesn't make sense in any kind of like clear aesthetic way.
Well, it's kind of weird that the Trump administration like became a metaphor for AI and how it just like rapidly plagiarizes and like copyright doesn't give a fuck about that and the rights and stuff. Because the Trump administration and Melania are constantly using like licensed music from other people that are like, please do not do that, and they're like, I don't give a fuck, and they're like, we're gonna sue you, and they're like, the courts are bullshit, and so like they're like, great, all right, well, I wish you wouldn't, and they're like, we don't give a fuck. So
it just again it seemed like a gross move by the documentary.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, were they co-opting like Black Christian spirituality? Like,
and it's a big cultural moment that happened
really doing
too.
That?
Like that was around civil rights time also, and so like just associating that track, with this moment is so odd.
Like, were they really being that cynical? I guess yes, they were.
They do this, and they fucking stand there for over a full minute doing nothing.
The scene goes on and on. Yeah,
it is so obvious that they're just padding this into like a feature-length bullshit. Because there's this entire conversation right after where like this plant priest is like, so dead mother, huh? And she's like, yeah, my mom died. And it's like nobody said that to anybody that we could tell, like unless he's just like chatting with Secret Service back there, and that's weird. But
the priests are just mugging it up for the camera.
They're just grinning and
just want to have their moment, their 15 seconds, which just
Jesus said to pray on camera. That's the best way to do it.
Have your 15 seconds. So say the Lord.
Street corners, cameras. That's the best place to pray.
Yeah, out loud, very very conspicuously in public, just like Jesus preached. So.
But Aretha keeps singing Melania walks back to the motorcade. But imagine you didn't have a 10 seconds at a time skip button like me, because I, at a certain point, caught on to my time being actively wasted. Her standing there for a minute at some point that's what broke me, and I started like jumping 10 seconds. I had to be like, has anything happened? No. Has anything happened? No. And for like minutes at a time in the second half, there will be nothing, or she'll say one line every 2 or 3 minutes, and you're like, this is not how this works. Like, what are we doing here?
Again, just Melania of few words, for sure. Though I've heard a talk more would be to reveal something about her, which they go to great lengths to not have happen. We get a video call between her and Brigitte Macron, First Lady of France. Again, this was a moment when I wish I was watching a documentary about the other person. I would love to watch a documentary about Brigitte Macron.
See what she said when she hung up with Melania.
She I bet she'd be a far more engaging subject for a documentary about 1 million times over. This scene again. All right, fine. Has a initiative for children. The Be Best things. I really whatever. Great. They're comparing notes about a similar program in France. Great, awesome. It really seemed like Bridget was working Melania like an easy mark. Right, that Bridget clearly came across as far more intelligent, far more sophisticated, just with far greater wherewithal and capabilities as just as someone engaging another person, but as a high level conversation. Right, this is it's an informal conversation, I guess, but still, it's first lady to first lady. Right, this is a real diplomatic back channel for sure, and Bridget was definitely the power figure in that one. And just Melania disappears. That's what she does.
She just sat back and nodded. That's what she does here. I mean, it's kind of like a metaphor for the whole EU talking to the US thing, because like it's just problems like the US wondering out loud, how can I solve this problem? And the EU being like, oh, we solved it by doing this, and this. And the US sits back and nods, but doesn't actually do anything to change it. We're like, yeah, okay.
There's a moment where Brigitte Macron is speaking French. Right, she starts in English and then goes into French for going into the details of the cyberbullying program, and Melania is nodding along, like she understands French. And this, I don't know if Melania knows French or speaks French or understands anything.
I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah. She's taking notes like she understands what is being said in French, which just show the Google Translate. Just show the live translate happening. Just come on. It's just come on. Like, just if she knows French, then have her say something in French. It would be great to know this about her. Why not do it? It just God, no. It just felt like a trick. The audience is being tricked.
All right. Well, we hope this doesn't leave you too cold and dead inside, but we do have to take a break, and we'll be back with part 2 later.
If you are cold and dead inside, then you're just like Melania, I guess.
You're in the right spot, actually.
Yeah.
But,
then you're paying too much attention to the documentary, and it's affecting you too deeply. So, yeah. Hopefully, part 2 will save you. Will rouse you. I don't know. But stay tuned, because part 2 is coming up next.
It is, whether you like it or not.
Stay tuned.